Noah, anything you'd like to say? Welcome back to Dumb and Broke. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Bryan. And we're a little closer than we usually are, but I feel like this may be a better viewing experience for our viewers.
I agree. And if you've noticed in other videos, and it's still happening now, Bryan and I, our knees are touching.
They're touching more than ever.
Yay.
But sometimes especially when we have guests, like our faces will like literally be like completely turned away from the camera. So it's I mean, I don't think we won't be able to do this when we have guests, but I think if it's just us two, I think this might be a better experience.
Boom.
You let us know.
And it is going to be just us two, and you're going to enjoy it.
I think I enjoy it. I think people come for us, and the guests are, extra credit.
Extra credit.
Extra credit.
I like extra credit.
Or like, and I don't know. I'm tired. Okay.
Yeah.
I just worked out.
Confetti on a not confetti.
Icing on top of the cake.
No, wait. What is? Is it? It's not confetti. What is it? Sprinkles? Jesus.
Sprinkles.
Anyway.
I am tired. I'm sweating. I feel like I'm still in Orlando, which I just was in last weekend, which was really fun. It was really, really hot.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So I just got back from Florida. Chelsea's going to Florida
tomorrow.
And I realized, I've complained a lot about like the heat because it's not like my favorite thing in the world. I know you really love the heat.
Love.
Like cold or like winter or summer, you're always going to pick summer, right?
Always. Forever.
Yeah, I'm going to pick like a light winter, but I don't think it's necessary.
So like fall?
Yes, but like a long fall.
Oh, okay.
I don't necessarily like have a problem with like the sun or the heat, but like I think where I have an issue is like when I get all cute and I feel good and then I go outside and I'm just like sweating and I feel like disgusting and I feel like I need to take another shower.
Yeah.
I find that part unenjoyable,
to be honest, I don't like that either, but I still feel like the energy is different. Like people are happier, people are outside. There's like a lot more going on. And I think that's what I like about it because I still too, I have to be like very particular about what I wear because one thing about your girl, I'm a sweater and I'm gonna sweat. So gray is just pretty much out of the question all summer long. So yeah, I don't love that part, but I'm weighing the pros and cons.
Yeah, I don't mind being outside when it's hot, but like, if my intention is to sweat, I don't mind sweating. But if I'm going to a concert and it's outside, like I don't know, I'm not gonna love it.
Yeah,
but,
that's fair.
Yeah, but I got a lot of pool time in Orlando, which was really nice. We were staying at this like kind of like a country club resort. It's like definitely like people vacation in this community, but they had like a really like big pool, like a lazy river, slide, like slides and stuff like that, like a bar by the pool. So it was really nice. I felt like a little pre-summer. It kind of reminded when we went to Austin in like March of last year, end of March, right? For Tegan's birthday. It was kind of like a little taste of the summer because, yeah.
I'm excited. The place that we're going, the Airbnb that we're staying at has a pool. So I'm pumped about that. But I'm also staying with a lot of my family. So my mom, my aunt, my cousins, my grandmother, which is just, it's like a different level of insecurity, I think. Because I don't feel like your grandmother's like this, but my grandmother is very like I think I'm more nervous to come out in a bathing suit around my grandmother than I would be around a man.
Really? Why?
Kind of. Because I feel like she's just like very, it's like very body conscious.
Is it? What about the tattoos? Is that a thing?
I mean, she will probably make comments on that. But the thing is, my brother is the golden child and he also has tattoos. So whenever somebody says, I mean, she'll probably be like, yeah, but you're a girl. And so it's like, okay, well, whatever.
You're truly from a different place.
I know. Yeah. I know. I'm like mentally prepared for all of the like boyfriend questions. And I'm going to go very Cher in there and be like, Nanny, I am a rich man.
I love that. I didn't realize you were going to see your grandma. I just went to see my grandma. That's
She
funny.
will be there, but I'm there for a wedding. Yeah.
So, kind of same. Like my grandma lives in Orlando. I didn't necessarily like go to Orlando specifically to see her, but it was like, of course, I was going to go see my grandmother.
Yeah.
She lives there. So, and it was really nice. She just turned 96 years old.
Pop off.
Seriously, like literally pop off. Well, not. I feel like that meant
no.
You know.
Yeah.
It's actually funny because like every time I speak to her like once a week, and every time I speak to her on the phone, you know, of course I'm like, "How are you?" She's always like, "I'm still here. I'm still living," and I'm just like, "Wow, that's where I get my humor from, my dark humor from."
Yeah,
because and
so
like
it's your dad's mom, your mom's
my
mom?
dad's mom.
Yeah,
I don't like have any relationship with my mom's side of the family, but my dad's mom, and my dad had dark humor too, so it's like. Yeah. I feel like I learn more and more about like myself every time I like even speak to my grandma, which I feel like, and maybe we've spoken about this. I feel like we have spoken about like old people in general, how like, even though like they can be like really like grouchy and annoying, like they're like treasure.
National treasures.
Like almost literally, right? Yeah. Like they have this knowledge and this experience. Like my grandma, she's 96 years old. Like she was born in 1929. Like that means she like lived through World War II, and like she lived through a time where like segregation was a thing, you know, like all the like so many things, you know what I mean? And it's just like it's kind of like wild.
On that note,
yeah.
On that note, and I'll let you finish your sentence.
Thank you.
Would you rather hang out in a room full of people 60 and above, or people 29 and below, or in their 20s and below?
Does that include like little kids then?
No, I'll say a group in their 20s, so 20 to 29, or 60 plus.
Just for like for how long? Sorry, I know like last week we were like the hypotheticals, like just answer the fucking question.
I mean like ever.
Like I feel like I get along really well with old people. Like I've always been like really good with like my friends' parents and people's parents. So like I probably the old people.
No, I know for sure that I would be.
Right?
Like those are my people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like if you're saying like forever, like be stuck with old people or like people around my age.
I mean, you could still have people like, well, you're in your 30s, sweetie. You could still have people in your 30s.
Yeah.
It's just like 20 people in their 20s are off the table. So like, sorry to all of our friends that are in their 20s, but you're out.
Oh my God. Yeah. But
yes, your grandmother is a national treasure.
She really is. Like it's incredible. And it's kind of going back to like kind of her dark humor. Like, well, she kind of like, it's funny and sad at the same time. Like I can just tell she's kind of like bored in general, like with life. And like, I kind of don't blame her. Like, I feel like in a dark, twisted way, she's almost like ready to go. And it makes me think like at 96 years old, like what more do you truly have to like look forward to? Like, yeah, she has like so many grandchildren and even more great grandchildren, and she gets to see them here and there, but not every day. So it's like, and she can't do the things that she used to do. Like she can't go to like all the activities, you know, she gets really tired. And I totally get that, you know, it's like sad, but also like not that sad either. Like,
no, like she's lived a solid life.
Like most people don't live to 96. In fact, I don't want to live to 96.
I don't know. I kind of do.
You do?
Maybe.
I'm not interested. Like, I think like 82 is fine.
I don't know.
85.
I don't know. I feel like every year changes for me so quickly as to like what I like and what I'm interested in, and all of these things that I don't know. I just feel like I'm going to do that forever.
Yeah.
So maybe hopefully I'm still.
I think it depends on like how healthy I am.
Quality of life. Yeah. If I'm just sitting in a room by myself, yeah, take me out.
Right. Which reminds me, I just got like all my blood work back from my blood work that I got done last week. And my doctor basically said I'm perfect.
Wow.
So, yeah. Like
how does
all
that
of
feel?
all of my levels are normal. Everything, all like the STDs were negative. It feels nice, but I'm also kind of like, give me something, like make me a little interesting. Like give me high cholesterol or something. You know what I mean? Like I've never had to take like a medication in my life unless it was like a antibiotic for something
Yeah.
or, you know, a pain medication for like a surgery. Like I've never like been prescribed anything, which like I sound like I'm complaining, but
Like, come on, spice it up.
yeah, like it's just, yeah.
And I'm over here just like, what's it feel like to have insurance? Should I say that? Is the government going to come for me? Do you have to have insurance anymore?
I feel like there was a period of time where it was like illegal to have insurance.
But I think
to not have insurance.
I don't think you have to anymore.
That's good.
I don't think you get like penalized on your taxes.
Oh, okay.
However, it's probably a thing I should have.
Yeah. I mean, this was the first time I went to a doctor in like 3 years.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's really expensive. So like, I feel like if you like had a lot of like health problems, obviously 100% you should have health insurance. But if you're like I mean, you work in fitness. You're
I'm like going to the emergency room.
Me too, honestly. I'm over here like
I'm a clean bill of health. Yeah, no.
Speaking of health, one thing that I like, one of my favorite things to do while I'm in Florida.
That sounds like an intro to an ad. Speaking of health.
Well, what I'm about to say is actually like completely contradicting to that, obviously. One of my favorite things when I go to Florida or like pretty much anywhere suburban is chain restaurants. It's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I love them. Like, I think they're so good. So we went to Olive Garden with my grandma. We went to Waffle House because one of the people we were with like had never been to a Waffle House. It's not like I don't love Waffle House, but like,
can I tell you I have a friend that eats the baked beans from Waffle House? Colleen, if you're listening, I'm triggered. Just bringing it back up again.
I don't know if I would.
It's like a baked bean. I think she had like a chili or something. And I was just like, are you okay?
That's an interesting choice. That's a choice.
It's a controversial choice.
Yeah, it is. But go pop off.
Pop off.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
I mean, that was really it. I mean, I feel like anytime because we went to Cheesecake Factory recently for Tegan's birthday. And like when we told people, they're like, really? Like you live in New York City? It's like, yeah, I live in New York City. And
we still like good things.
Right. We like the finer things in life. But also it's like, yeah, we live in New York City. So that's even more of a bigger deal. Like we have like great food options every day of our lives. We're so spoiled. So like, let us enjoy the Cheesecake Factory, you know?
Right.
And like, yeah, I don't know.
I felt a little disappointed in myself while you were gone this weekend because you posted something on your story. And I was like, that is a Chili's chicken crisper. I know it in my soul. And then you were like, actually it isn't. And like, I felt that in my gut.
Were you
I was like,
embarrassed?
wow, I was embarrassed. Like, dude, where are you even from?
Yeah, we were at Miller's Ale House. Have you been to one of those?
No.
Oh, they're all over, but they're famous for their zingers, which are chicken tenders. I get why you thought it was a crisper from Chili's.
But when I said that, I felt so confident, and you were like,
I know a crisper when I see one. I was like, clearly you don't because it's not.
Oh, that hurt.
I know. I kind of like felt bad when I sent that. Like, I was like, do I just lie to her? But I was like, yeah, no, that's not me. I gotta get her.
No, I'm actually gonna troll her forever for it.
It's kind of like, you know, when like your friend, just like anyone, your friend actually like mispronounces a word.
Oh,
you can't let them. You can't let that slide.
Never. It's for the rest of their life.
Right.
They're gonna.
It's the funniest thing that's ever happened, and you're going to never let them live that down.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't want a friendship that's not like that.
Right. Okay. Pivot.
Hard pivot.
So, my best friend Amy, who I saw in Orlando because she lives in Tampa, her little sister is in college with her boyfriend. So, Amy's little sister's boyfriend. They're in college together.
It's the tree.
Little sister and boyfriend. They're in college together. They're studying PR, and they're at the same university that I graduated from, same program that I graduated from, and his name is David. He reached out because he was working on his final project, which is to like create like a whole media kit for like a campaign, and he decided to do it on our podcast. Like his final project was on our podcast, and he sent me like his final project, and it was just like, first of all, I gotta say, shout out David if you're listening.
Shout out David.
He said like, you know, he had to listen because he was doing a project on it, and he like,
I was forced to listen to your podcast.
and it fucking sucked. Well, I don't know if he was lying to me, but he said it like he enjoyed it and it was like entertaining. But he had to write like a press release like promoting it. He had to write like a whole like a little script. Like helping us promote it essentially. And he said like we can use whatever we want. The like highlight for me was like the social media stuff, like one of the things like when we have a guest, like promoting it before the episode comes out and like kind of putting like a blurred image on their face to be like, you know, special guest,
who's
you know?
it gonna be?
Right. Things like that. And like for the social media clips, like throwing some sounds and like images over, like just making it a little bit more, you know, fun and interactive. So some really good stuff there. But ultimately I just felt like kind of like honored that like he decided to do his project on the podcast. It's just like,
That is really sweet.
pretty cool.
It is actually like, it's either really flattering or he's like, you guys need help.
Well, I remember like, so my final project I did, it seemed like he did it on his own. Mine was a group project and we had to do it for like a bit, like a small business. So I did it on like this like little like food place.
I mean, we technically could be a small business.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
And
As soon as we make $1, we're professional
Yeah.
podcasters with a small business.
And that was like part of it. Like he sent me some questions, kind of like interviewed me and like what are the goals? And I told him like, you know, right now this is like a side project and it's fun, but like ultimately we would love to make this like a job and make this profitable. So you guys need to help us out with that. Like we are upping our YouTube subscribers, but we need to get them higher.
A bump.
Yeah, a bump.
A bump.
Well,
This is
but yeah, I thought that was really cool.
I have this there's like something that I can't get out of my head. I was just at the gym and I was with a group of girls and we were talking about just like toxic men, and there was a random guy that was in the bathroom, and so he came out and he was getting ready, which he's fine. He can listen to the conversation, but I told him, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry that you're like getting in on the tea. And he just started talking and I don't remember where he went, but he said something. And then he goes, yeah, I mean, well, you know, like what you deny you are. And then just continued talking. And I was like,
What?
I'm sorry, back that up. That's a bar that I'm going to be thinking about for the next 10 to 12 business days. What you didn't, he's like, well, yeah, what you deny you are.
What?
If you deny you are something, you are that.
Huh.
What you deny you are.
I'm
And I
not
was
a
like-
whore. I'm not a whore.
But that just like struck me because I was thinking, what do I deny that
It's
I
true,
am?
because why would you deny something unless you were like hiding it, right? Yeah, that's interesting.
It's crazy.
I wonder if someone at the gym
Yeah.
said that to you. Do I know them?
Probably not.
Because someone came, I forget his name. He's like relatively new to the gym. I've seen him around, but randomly he comes up to me after today's class and he was like, so some of us were talking and I just had a question for you. And I was like, oh, where's this going? He's like, if you were a bird, what kind of bird would you be? Do you know what I'm talking
I know exactly who you're talking about. Shout out Fioti if you're listening.
I forgot. We introduced each other. What's his name?
Fioti.
Fioti? Oh, that's a cool name.
He randomly messaged me the other day on Instagram and he was like, I have a serious question. And I was like, okay. And he was like, would you still train me if I was a worm? And I was like, honestly, the worm is actually pretty hard. So yeah, we'd make some modifications, but we can make it work. And he was like, I wasn't expecting that.
But like it was like those questions sometimes are tough for me to answer because I want to give such a good answer.
Okay.
And I don't want to disappoint. So I was like, you know, I like kind of struggle with those questions, but I ultimately went with eagle.
Ooh, wow.
Because I think
that's like regal, kind of patriotic.
That's what I said. I said regal.
Wow.
And I was like, it rhymes. Eagle, regal. I'm a poet. What bird would you be?
I said I was probably like a toucan, like something like mildly annoying. Something
It's the
like
nose.
mildly annoying, like a little colorful, definitely out there.
Loud.
But
You'd be a parrot. You'd be a parrot. Parakeet. You got parakeet energy.
Oh no!
My friends, Carly and Felicia. Felicia was on the podcast season 1. But Carly once said, like, because sometimes she's super active in the group chat, and sometimes she's like completely gone. There's like no in between. So like one day she like kept like saying stuff, and it was like 5 different conversations by herself, and she's like, wow, I'm like giving parakeet energy. I'm like, yeah, you are. So, just like
I'm gonna
like,
use that.
Yeah, I love it. So sometimes I'll like she does that to this day, and I'll be like, okay, like please shut down the parakeet energy now.
I like that.
Yeah.
I definitely can harness parakeet, but I think inside I'm a toucan.
A toucan. I just think of like I just think of Fruit Loops. Yeah.
Yeah. Also relevant. Yeah.
Speaking of Fruit Loops, what's your favorite cereal? And I wanted to ask because I meant to ask you like 10 minutes ago when we were talking about chain restaurants, like what's your favorite chain restaurant? But we'll start with cereal.
Oh my gosh. Wow. This is tough. Like, immediately my heart goes to Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Classic.
But I also, I would say the cereal that I get the most is going to be Frosted Flakes.
Same here, sister. Like, literally same. Frosted Flakes would be like my everyday cereal, and Cinnamon Toast Crunch is like that, like once a week kind of.
What?
Like so serious. Like those are my 2 favorites.
One time I went a little crazy and I mixed Frosted Flakes and Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I've never even.
Is that
I never even thought about that.
Wow, and it was revolutionary.
I want to do that right now. That sounds so good. Like I'm like, you're a scientist. Like I'm impressed.
Went to like grab my hair. It's not there.
I've never been more impressed with.
Wow.
With you specifically, in particular. Okay, like I'm so glad we had that conversation.
Sold. Okay, chain restaurants.
I'll
let you go first.
That's tough. Because I really like them all. But like if I had to pick my favorite, for some reason something is saying Chili's.
Okay.
I'm not confident about that though.
I think recently I just like haven't had a couple good experiences with Chili's. The time we went to the tennis tournament being one, it just like didn't hit the same for me.
Oh right, that wasn't a
that was an off night.
Yes,
for the entire restaurant.
I totally forgot about it. That's how off it was.
I think for me, and this is just like back to my roots, Texas Roadhouse.
Ooh,
just hits so hard.
That's a good one.
And like it never doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one. I like Texas Roadhouse. We almost went there instead of Olive Garden over the weekend. Because Olive Garden isn't my favorite, but it was like we went for lunch and I love the soup and the salad and the breadsticks, and that's all I wanted.
That's all I want.
Right.
Yeah.
For dinner, like I'd rather do that for lunch.
Yeah.
And then go to Texas Roadhouse for dinner.
But that's the thing is like, I don't necessarily care for pasta there.
No.
Yeah.
When we went for
we live in New York City.
Yeah. We went for my birthday a couple years ago, and I remember being so excited because that was like probably my first time going to Olive Garden in years. And
wasn't it?
It was like the breadsticks were great, the salad was great, but then we all got meals, and like I was like, wait, this kind of sucks. It's just like
it's also in Times Square, which I think that's something to consider.
Yeah. I feel like my birthday's coming up. Not really, but
kinda.
We're in May. 3 months. That's close enough.
I mean, I guess it's the next.
We can talk
birthday.
about it. We can talk about it every episode until my birthday. I feel like.
Just subtly bring it up.
I won't do. I'm not gonna do. I don't plan on doing anything like crazy this year, like a trip or anything. Don't worry.
Well, we are going on a trip right before it, technically.
It's my birthday trip. Oh, we're kidding. Like a few weeks before my birthday, we're going to
Italy.
Hell yeah.
Which I feel like is that's so, like, I think it's so crazy, but I'm kind of used to doing things on a whim, but I think that would be crazy for other people. Because the first time that we talked about this was like 2 a.m. at Pencil Factory.
Yes.
And we're talking about it, and I'm like, yes, I am so in for this.
Yeah, like kind of drunk. It was kind of one of those.
That was a Saturday. And then that Monday, you were sending texts and you were like, no, but like, here's the prices for flights. And I was like, if you're ready to book, I'm ready to book.
I love when you're in that mode, because I feel like there's 2 different Chelseas. You're sometimes like, yeah, maybe, and you kind of like wait last minute if you do it, or you're like, fuck it, I'm in right now. Like, it's never like really in between. You're kind of, yeah.
But I also feel like that matters if it's something that I really want to do, or if it's like if
Like,
it's
you
like
might want to do it, but you're
Yeah.
just like not like 100% sold right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like if it's like going out, then I'm
Mm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just gonna be a night out.
Yeah.
But if it's like something special in particular, then I'm like, yeah. I want to go. Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to Italy in July. We're going with my friend Desiree and one of her friends. Maybe more people are joining us.
And it's technically for her birthday.
Technically for her
Yeah.
birthday, but like she's not like that kind of girl. Like technically she's like one day away from being a Leo, but she's a Cancer. But so like, she's not like all about herself. Like maybe I might be sometimes. Well, I'm not.
Possibly.
Yeah, especially for my birthday. So, but yeah, I'm so excited because like I've never been to Italy. I know you've been to Italy before, right?
Once, but I was also 18 or 19 years old, and I just had there was no culture in this body. I was with the basketball team, and I was drinking pina coladas and eating pizza with French fries on top because I thought that was cool. So
Yeah.
I just really feel like I need to do over for that.
I feel like this is gonna be a completely different trip
100%, and I am so excited about that.
because we're going to the coast. What's the coast called?
Positano,
Well, that's the
the
actual town.
Amalfi.
Coast.
Yeah,
And I feel like I've seen pictures of this coast my entire life and didn't know what it was called. I guess I still don't know what it's called, but like I can't wait. Like that's like one of those like bucket list places that's been on my bucket list for so long, and I'm just like so glad it was like a spontaneous thing, and like you're in too, because I feel like it's gonna be like
it's
one
gonna be
one for the books.
one for the books,
You
and
know?
then you and I are doing just like 3 days in Rome.
Yeah, like
Which I
2.5.
think is going to be
Yeah.
incredible. Which everyone that I've talked to, you get a little nervous because you're like, oh, is it going to be touristy? Like, is it worth it? But all of the people that I've talked to that are from Italy, they're like, no, it's Rome.
How many people do you
what do you
know
mean?
from Italy?
Well, I have 2 clients that are Italian, and then 2 people that go to the gym that are one's from Milan, one's from Venice. One of my clients is from Rome. The other one is, and he did. I was told it's called Capri, not Capri.
Oh, Capri.
Yeah,
Okay.
Capri.
Okay.
And they all think that we're doing it right. So
See, yeah, I'm glad because I had a couple friends, a couple people that listen to the podcast. Brie, I feel like I have beef with Brie on the podcast. She told me like,
it would be so funny if Brie was like not even a real person. You're just like making fake beef.
our fans, Sam, Courtney, Alex, like all.
We hear you.
No, but Stephanie and Brie, they both said like I would skip Rome if I were you because they said it's just like really crowded, especially the time of year that we're going. It's gonna be really hot and crowded, and I get that and I appreciate that, but like I want to be one to say that to someone else. Like, let me, I feel like yeah, maybe the most touristy spot in Italy, but like that's like going to the United States for the first time and not like going to New York, like going to Times Square, right? Like if you're going to New York City I'm not in the United States. If you were going to New York City for the first time, you have to go to Times Square.
Yeah.
Right?
You have to see it.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
No, I'm pumped.
And I think we should try to film an episode there. Like that could be cool, right?
Yeah.
We'll try to figure something out. I mean, it's not like it's not like a whole lot of equipment. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
That'll be really fun.
That'd be really professional of us. Just have your podcast equipment on the thing. You'd have to check that you have batteries in your I don't even know what that entails. I just always say no. Even if I feel like sometimes I
know. It's always
Is that controversial? I'm like, no. Carry on.
I know. Why does it always feel like you're breaking the law every time you go to the airport? Like,
well, usually I am. So.
That's true. You're on drugs.
Usually
or
I
stealing
take an
someone's
edible for
food.
the flight. Yeah.
You're like a thief and yeah.
Yeah. It's fine.
You're like, I had to clarify. I said you were doing drugs. You're like, I'm taking an edible.
Yeah. It's not like a cocaine up my ass kind of situation.
I learned that that's called boofing. Did you know that? When you take a drug up the butt, it's called boofing.
No. But
the more you know.
Because when it comes out, because boof.
Yeah, because if it's like cocaine, it goes poof. That must be it.
Gotta be. Are you ready to get controversial?
I'm ready. I have 2. You have?
I've got one.
Okay, you wanna go?
Yeah, we'll kick this off. The Tortured Poets Department is my favorite Taylor Swift album.
Oh, that is controversial.
Yeah, it is.
Wow, that's also breaking news to me.
Yeah.
When I asked you last week, it wasn't your number 1.
Well, I think that I think for a long time I was nervous to say that just because that feels like
For the
a
longest
lot.
time. The album's been out for like
For the longest time, for like the 2 whole weeks. But I also think it's one that you have to take in. I feel like I was really just like trying to get into it, but I just find myself going to it and not even going to Taylor Swift's like full. I'm not just like listening to Taylor Swift. I am only listening to the Tortured Poets
I
Department
haven't listened to
album.
any other music other than the Tortured Poets Department since I think like maybe once or twice I like put on a song, but that I keep going right back to the Tortured Poets Department because one, I fucking love it, and two, I'm like so determined to like learn it all. You know, like I really want to know it, and there's so much to know. But wow, that's your favorite album.
I think it's my number one.
I respect it. I especially as a Taylor Swift fan, like that makes sense. You know, I don't think it's going to be a casual Taylor Swift fan's favorite album. I wouldn't. I think it is controversial because I don't know if a lot of people would put it as number one. It can't be my number one just because what folklore means to me. Like it came out at such a wild time in my life, like that. Like there's no way, you know, and like we were kind of saying the other like 2 weeks ago, like the thing about her music, like it does such a good job at like taking you back to a place that has nothing to do with the music. That's how I feel, at least. And I think that folklore is like the perfect example of that. I also like, this may be controversial, but I think folklore is probably, it has to be in the top 10 best albums of all time, like of any artist. I will say that. So that might be controversial. I just think folklore is just like a masterpiece of an album.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll feel how you feel about the Tortured Poets Department eventually. But right now I'm not in love with every single song. Folklore, zero skips. Like absolutely zero skips. In fact, play every single song 50 times. So yeah.
Love. I think I had to give it some time because all of my, like, I wanted to say that this is, I think, the first album of hers that on the release date, like, I listened, all my friends were listening. It was like a big social thing. But that's not true because Midnight's was like honestly, Evermore and Folklore were like that. I think those were all just kind of when I was an adult. And so they were talking points, but I think those just kind of died down. Like, Midnight's I liked, obviously, but it wasn't, at no point was I like, is this my favorite album? Like this one, I think immediately I was like, wait, is this going to be my favorite album? And then I just listened and listened and listened and listened and listened.
Yeah.
And listen and listen.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this is it.
It keeps getting better.
Yeah.
It keeps getting better.
Yeah.
That's fun. Well, I feel like something that people aren't talking about is that Taylor has done zero press for this album. She did a bunch for Midnights.
It's insane.
She did them for like the re-recordings, but this one she didn't do any late night shows. She didn't do SNL. She didn't do anything. One, she probably doesn't have time, and two, she doesn't need to. You know.
Well, I mean, have you seen all the rap beef with Kendrick Lamar and Drake, which I think is just so silly, but they're all referencing Taylor Swift. They're like, oh, you're scared to drop this because Taylor just dropped. And I'm just like, people are talking about how they can't drop albums or songs anywhere near the time that that's like next level.
Yeah. Yeah. She's just like, her impact is insane. Like, we don't need to say it. There's so many podcasts out there. We don't need to spend any more time on it, but like, she is popping
She's doing it. She's popping off. Anyway, that's my hot take.
Okay.
What you got?
My first one is it kind of goes along with like the chain restaurants and like cereal, but this sparked from a conversation I had in Orlando where someone said out loud, I don't trust anyone who prefers Dunkin' over Starbucks. And then everyone looked at me because, and I think I may be in the minority here, but like I fuck with Dunkin' way more than I fuck with Starbucks.
But I also think you lived directly above Dunkin' for a really long time.
This happened before that. Like my love for Dunkin', like I grew up, like Bryan runs on Dunkin'.
Oh no.
Yeah. And listen, I get it. I would say Starbucks.
It's just never consistent.
Oh, and I fully agree with that. Like you'll never get the same drink twice. Starbucks definitely has like a higher quality coffee, but when Dunkin' is right, it is right once every 20 times. But also like if I want like want breakfast, I like the food at Dunkin' better, like the sandwiches and stuff. So like the overall experience, I find Dunkin' just more enjoyable because I don't know, Starbucks is like, not that Dunkin' is fresh by any means, but like everything that you get in Starbucks comes in like a package and they like throw it in the microwave and it's like,
What did I say? Somebody said something recently that was like, why does all of the food from Starbucks seem like it was 3D printed?
seriously, it's like, that's like such a good way to put it. It's kind of like airline food.
Yeah.
Right? It's
I mean, yeah, there are things that I like from there.
Yeah. I like the banana loaf.
Yeah.
Banana loaf. I don't know why I said it like that.
Loaf.
But yeah, I'm Team Duncan, and I'm proud.
Wow, I'm proud of you. I'm not.
All right. Yeah,
I'm not against it.
well, that's why I think it's controversial because I think most people would say Starbucks is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just like to know what I'm getting.
Yeah. Okay. I have one more controversial opinion.
Okay.
This one's funny. This is one that is I find it's my controversial opinion. 69ing is annoying.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like I don't get why we're doing it.
No, because well, from a female's perspective, like it comes from my head. Like I am not finishing unless I'm trying to think of like, why am I trying to be PC right now? I'm not finishing unless mentally I can do that, and I can't do that while I'm doing something else.
It's just like why can't we just take turns, one focused on the other?
Right?
Like,
Are we at a rush?
Right? Are we? It's not that right. Like you can't be getting much enjoyment if you're working. You know, it's like I just find it annoying, and I think like if I was president, I would make that illegal.
Veto.
Yeah. You know,
is that a thing? You just like veto 69?
I think in like there's some states or like a state where technically, or maybe it was a law at one point, or maybe this is completely made up, but someone told me this and I believed it. That
sounds like a Utah thing.
Yeah. You know what I'm about to say? Is that like missionary sex is the only legal way of having sex. All the other ways were technically illegal. Of course, like how is anyone going to know?
But imagine going to jail because you...
The doggy. Oh my God. Oh, that's so funny.
Like a tape comes out or something?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And like they track the IP address and they find out that you're in Utah. It does sound like a Utah thing, doesn't it?
It does sound like a Utah thing. If someone's from Utah, can you report? We could also just use our Google machines.
Yeah. But yeah, I just like I'm not down for the 69.
No.
It's not happening.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
It's awkward. Like I'm staring at your butthole.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm usually the person that like has to climb up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ew, I'm just okay.
No.
I'm over this. I think we can end the pod there. You know.
Yeah. What something else? To think about.
Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to know.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe.
Please.
Or underlining and bolding the subscribe.
Yes. We're adding it all. We're doing all the graphics.
Yeah. But we don't know how to do that. So I just want you to mentally picture it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Bye.
Catch you on the next one.